Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of MALN Opinion Plus. This is a space for our opinions where we talk about current events and questions the Latino community is curious about. This week, we're joined by Christine Ward, Executive Director for Raising a Reader Massachusetts, an organization that aims to promote childhood literacy in families across the Commonwealth. Thanks for joining us today, Christine.
Well, thank you, Diego. I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm so glad you're here too. So, just to start off, would you mind by telling our audience a little bit about Raising a Reader and your mission and how long you've been working towards these goals?
Oh, absolutely. So Raising a Reader Massachusetts is an early literacy family engagement program, and we work in under-resourced communities across the state of Massachusetts. We came to Massachusetts originally in 2006, and we were an independent 501c3 in 2009. And we have been working with families and child care providers across the state of Massachusetts to teach parents the importance of reading aloud to their children and to provide access to age-appropriate, culturally relevant books.
Now, in that situation, how does the organization ensure that book access and assistance is provided to the communities that need it? What kind of data do you guys use to discern that?
So what we do is we largely follow or target what are called gateway cities. These are communities that are under-resourced that have been identified by the legislator. There's currently 26 across Massachusetts, and these are communities that typically have a large population, often of immigrant population, English language learners. So we target the partners within these communities. So we work with established community partners to access the families and the children in our program. So this could be a home visiting program or a pre-K classroom or a Head Start program. And we just work with these trusted partners who already have the connections with the families to provide this support for them. Because as you can imagine, they have many, many other priorities. So Raising a Reader is kind of unique in that it's kind of a supplemental program. And we support programs that are already established. So which also helps us in the sense that, we now can come into a community that has been identified as having some need for additional resources and support them. And ultimately, our goal would be to eliminate the literacy opportunity gap.
Now, could you tell me a little bit about what your work looks like out in the field when you're putting these programs on?
So we do, I like to say we have a dual intervention model. So, for example, we would work with a public pre-K and work with those child care providers or the teachers to make sure that they have access to these high quality, age appropriate, culturally relevant books. So these are books that have been, they cull through thousands of titles, and the partners get to choose the books that are specific to their community and their needs. So, whether it's if they have a younger aged classroom, might be more board books. Obviously, I should say that the families we target have children ages 0 through 6. So it's often before they are actually in an established school setting. But we work with the partners to identify books that maybe are bilingual and often many picture books, because what we're trying to do is not teach parents or families how to read. We are trying to teach parents the importance of reading aloud to their children, and the parents play a critical role in that, and that really helps build the critical literacy foundation for what I would describe as a lifetime of opportunity. So, our books come in 13 languages, even including Braille and sign language. So it depends on, what community we're working in and what books they need. We've definitely noticed increased demand for social emotional learning books. So we've certainly been adding that to our curriculum and creating workshops around that if a child doesn't feel safe, they can't learn. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for families to have access to these books where children can really talk about their feelings and, if they're happy or sad, and, what's kind of, it's a great tool to sort of uncover some of the emotional challenges that a child might be feeling. But to answer your question, so we go into these classrooms and we work with the program partner to provide them with books, and Often our constituents will think of us as the red bag program, and the children get to take home a red bag full of typically 4 books every week. So it's like a rotating library, and they bring home the books, and they often can't wait to open up the books and see what they have for the week. And we encourage families to read in the home, and it's great to provide that access to these books, because many families, can't just run to the library or don't have really age appropriate books in their home. There's a statistic that, we often share that, in a middle income neighborhood, there are 13 books for every child, compared to a low income community, there's 1 book for every 300 children. So that has to do with books that are available in libraries and in the schools as well, in addition to what's available in the home. So really providing the access to these books is key. And then we also work with the partners to access the parents or the child, the child care provider, to teach what we call dialogic reading techniques, which is just a fancy way to say read aloud techniques. And this is where we just have open-ended conversations. So asking or using open-ended questions to have conversations. And that's what really increases the dialogue, which helps with vocabulary and brain building skills.
Well, this sounds like such a wonderful experience for children to have growing up, and I wonder if we could talk about that a little bit more, targeting this like certain age group. Why do you think it's so important to get those kids reading and having them find books accessible during that time?
No, absolutely. I mean, literacy is the foundation of all learning, and our program really focuses on the role families play in that language and literacy development. So instead of offering what you might call direct training or instruction, we really work with the families in these workshops to just empower families to be their child's first teacher. So many parents might think like, oh, I can't do that, I don't have the right skills or whatever. And the truth is you absolutely can, and it just takes some a little bit of coaching to understand sort of how to ask questions to and obviously this can work with a variety of age groups. 0 through 6, like I said, is our target population, but that certainly continues as the child learns more and more. And our goal is to help families prepare their children for kindergarten, so that a child starts kindergarten and they're ready to learn. And it's very helpful to have a child that is kindergarten ready, because that means they are just on this much more positive trajectory, so that when the first kind of standardized testing comes around in 3rd grade, they fare much better. And 3rd grade is often a predictor, and widely recognized as a predictor of high school graduation rates. So it's really important to sort of get these critical foundational skills at an early age.
Wow, and so I'm also really interested too. You mentioned a little bit about working with multilingual communities, and how you provide books in different languages and mediums. How do you guys go about researching how to provide those books and which ones work best to provide?
Oh, that's a great question. We have a wonderful team that works at the. So we are an affiliate of an organization called Raising a Reader, and we call them the National Office, and that is where we purchase our books. And they have a team there that cull through thousands of titles every year and select them and categorize them, so that when I say like a partner has the opportunity to select, what they want most for their community. Like if there's feedback on, oh, we want more STEM books or social emotional learning books, or bilingual books or picture books, the partner goes on and they can choose from what is already a wonderful library of books to use or to choose from. And that's how they determine. So there's a team of people that will pick sort of the best books that really engage a child's imagination, so that they want to learn and can't wait for their families or caregivers to read to them in the home.
That's so great. Reading is such a special thing, and it's so cool that your organization makes it available to so many people.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know, just as director of Raising a Reader here in Massachusetts, why is promoting literacy so important to you, and how did you get into this work with the organization?
I mean, what I loved about Raising a Reader was it is a simple solution to a systemic problem. So, literacy is, I can't think of a better, return on investment than investing early in a child's learning, and just creating this foundation. And it's something that, everybody can understand and it works for everybody. So whether, you know, um, you don't speak the language, or you have never picked up a book before in your life, or you are a voracious reader, there's definitely tools and techniques and skills that you can learn with Raising a Reader. And for, Massachusetts, for the opportunity to just sort of build on that and help create this wonderful foundation, which we are an evidence-based model. So, we have over 30 years of research and 39 independent evaluations that show the importance of having the parent as their child's first teacher.
Wow, so we're coming up on time here a little bit. I'm wondering if you'd like to tell us a little bit about how the organization plans to grow and further promote childhood literacy in the coming year or in the future.
So, well, one of my goals is to be, one of the leaders in the early education space. So we are, on that path, and we are a collaborative program, which is wonderful because that means we work with a lot of different programs and partners. But we are really, supportive of sort of all the work that is being done on, universal pre-K and early childhood development. So we kind of stay abreast of all that research. And we work with many, trusted partners, like I said, including Basics. We follow strategies for children and support all their work. So, that's how we kind of stay abreast of some of the, things that are up and coming, and make sure that we are continuing to be a collaborative partner for all our communities across Massachusetts.
Great. And would you mind also sharing some ways that our audiences can maybe find some resources to get their kids excited about reading or to learn more about your organization?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would certainly encourage you to visit raisingareaderma.org. And that's our website, and look at our family resource page, engage with Raising Reader Massachusetts on social media, sign up for our monthly newsletter, where we share lots of great tips and books, and, go visit your local library. And then also within your community, see if there's a Raising a Reader Massachusetts near you. And if not, certainly ask for us and let us know, because we are always ready, willing, and able to help spread the word, and add new communities as we are able. So I mean, it's certainly not from there's a lot of demand out there. So we try to be all things to many people, but certainly let us know if you haven't if there's not a Raising a Reader near you. We will certainly help you locate and provide some tips to sort of build upon your interest in learning more.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and being our guest today on MALN Opinion Plus.
Oh, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Diego, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you. So you can join us next week for another episode, or next time for another episode. And for more information about our discussion today, check out our web story at malatinonews.com. Follow us on Twitter at malatinonews and Instagram at ma_Latino News. I'm Diego Viruel with MALN Opinion Plus. See you next time.